Nano Banana, the AI image model created by Google, is taking the world by storm. It is quickly becoming the #1 AI image editor in the entire world. And today we're going to be using AI to build an app that uses Nano Banana to edit our YouTube thumbnails with words. Today I'm joined by Lloyd, the founder of Warp, and we're going to be building this app without writing a single line of code. By the end of this video, you are going to learn how to build an AI image editing app with Nano Banana. You'll understand how senior developers think about vibe coding, and at the end, you'll even see how to use an AI agent to test the app that you build. This is going to be a really fun episode. Let's dive in. Okay, so what are we building today?
Okay, so there's a new image model from Google, which is cool, called Nano Banana, which lets you basically prompt to create or edit images. I thought it would be fun to build a little web app that lets a user kind of upload an image or start from scratch and just kind of play with Nano Banana and see what the output's like.
Love it.
So I'm going to do this in Warp, which makes sense. What I work on. And so I will start by just setting up the scaffolding for a new project just by telling Warp, and we'll use Next.js. Set up a brand new Next.js project in the current directory, initialize a Git repo for me, and just run a hello world version of the server, and then we'll add on to it after that.
Amazing. And you're using, are you using a voice tool directly in Warp, or is that a separate voice tool?
So we have this built into Warp. This is using Whisperflow.
Nice.
Okay, so we are here. We have a really basic task list for this. Again, the way that I like to get going, any kind of vibe coding thing, is I just like to get the scaffolding in place. So we'll use TurboPack, and we will let NPX sort of set us up here.
So we're basically creating a blank template for Next.js.
Yep.
With like all of the plumbing set up so that we can build a simple image editing app using Nano Banana. And that is...
Yeah, I was playing with this earlier too. I don't know if it's interesting to people, but I built like a little CLI version of it that we can play with as the
let's do that. I think that's super useful.
Let's go ahead and see if I have here a hello world. Okay, so we have blank template here. Next.js app. This looks good to me. Let's start to make this more useful. And I'll keep this open so I can do stuff in it while this agent is working. But let's go ahead and expand this.
Okay. So the way that I envision this app, it's funny. I've been wanting to build an app that uses Nano Banana specifically around thumbnails. So Mr. Beast tried to release a thumbnail tool a few months ago, and he faced some backlash for it just because a lot of people in his community they design thumbnails by hand, and I've been wanting to develop one for myself. And so the way that I picture it is you just upload it. By default is like a 16:9 orientation, and the main feature is you just upload a thumbnail, and what it does is it allows you to edit the thumbnail. So like you can create one of yourself, and so I would just have like a box in the middle with an upload image, and then it loads there, and then you prompt Nano Banana to make edits. And then there's like I was picturing there'd be like versions. So like any edit you type will edit the latest version of it. Does that make sense? And so you can just like keep iterating. It's like vibe thumbnail design.
Vibe thumbnail design. Let's do it. That makes sense to me. Let's start with the basic interface for uploading a single thumbnail. And then I think from there, let's do a single edit using Nano Banana and get that working. And then we can do the multiple versions.
That's how I would do it.
So
I like it.
All right. So alter the main page of the current project to have a single form button that lets a user upload a thumbnail image from their computer and then displays the image centered in the screen. We'll keep it really simple for now. So let's do that. So again, I just speak to it. We'll go for this. And then while this is running over here, So this is the project that I did a little bit earlier to try and play with the API just via CLI. So I'm going to say, can you take a look at the current project and figure out what all the run scripts are and just tell me how to run them and what the setup process is.
I like it.
Let's go see how we're doing here. I'm going to open this back up. This looks pretty good to me.
Exactly as I envisioned.
Okay. We'll make this look cool too at some point, but let's just test this basic functionality. We should find a good, actually.
Here, I'm searching for a thumbnail.
Here's one that we did for our recent Warp launch. Does this one work?
Yeah, that's great.
So this is cool. We just did this launch around Warp Code. We have this, we did this funny cowboy themed advertising campaign. So far, so good on this, yeah? Like we have...
I would have it replace kind of the click to upload area, and I would make it 3 times bigger.
So what I'll do is I'll just grab a screenshot of this. I will come back here for a second. I'm going to grab this in. We said, can we make the thumbnail 3 times bigger and replace the image upload area once the thumbnail is there? And below the thumbnail, put a simple text input box, which is going to be the instructions for how to edit the thumbnail along with the submit button. Does that make sense, Riley?
Absolutely. So you're basically setting it up so that theoretically the next prompt would be to be like when the user types in and presses submit, then use the API to alter the image. And so we're basically setting everything up except for the API.
And I think that'll be a good stage to try to get the image from the browser to the server and then from our server off to Google. Let's see where we're at with this. So we'll do this. We'll grab this. This looks awesome.
That looks amazing. Yes.
Yes.
And then
okay.
in theory, you could just type in like, make his hat green or like make his face more intense. And that's what we're going to do. That's the vision that I had. I like this a lot.
Okay, cool. Let's just see where we're at for a sec. One of the things that I tend to do is I like to look at kind of the structure of the code as it gets more complicated. Are you doing this at all, like out of curiosity?
I don't at all. I've
all.
never actually written a line of code, and I've actually built many apps and deployed them to the App Store.
Amazing.
I'm tempted to learn how to code though, just because it does interest me. I do ask AI a lot of questions about what the code is doing, but in terms of like the details like this, no, I don't do it.
Okay, so I probably won't need it. I have a feeling we'll be able to do this without it. But the software engineer in me, because the way I'm using these types of coding tools in Warp specifically is I'm working on like a 1,000,000-line Rust code base, and it's complicated. And like if you do things wrong, it can cause a lot of issues. And for vibe coding on that type of code base, I want the ability to sort of review what it's doing. So you'll probably see me popping that open. But let's go to the next step here. The next thing I think we should do is handle the form submit. So sending both the image and the text to the server. And I think before we wire up sending it off to Google, I think just like having the server print a sort of logging message that it's able to receive the contents from the client. Does that sound good?
That makes sense. Totally.
Okay. So update the page to handle the form submit. I'd like to do this if we can without reloading the whole page. It should be a single page app. I want for now to just add a handler on the server that can receive the image bytes and receive the user prompt and just print out the user prompt to the console and print out the size of the image to the console, just so I can verify things are wired up correctly.
That makes sense.
All right, so we'll do this. I'm curious if it's going to want some sort of like front-end server or API server, if it's going to do this in a simple way. I hope it does it in a simple way, honestly.
I found that Next.js is pretty good. Like when I vibe code with Next.js in general, it's pretty good. Sometimes it takes a couple tries, but it's pretty good at nailing it within the first like 10 minutes, I would say.
Amazing.
And that's with me. Like, I don't even know mostly what you said there. It doesn't even fully make sense, but I'm excited to learn about this too. It's just great.
So you're seeing my like engineer brain. So like the way that I think about this is like, we have the browser, it's holding an image and it's holding this prompt. It needs to send those up to the server, and the server is going to have an API that the browser calls and receives it. And then we're going to implement logic from that API endpoint to just directly call out to Google. But the Google part's going to be the trickiest part. I know that. And so I just want to get the image to our server first and see if that's working.
That makes
let's
sense.
go ahead and run this again. I'll just hit the up arrow, get this back. So far, I'm pretty impressed. No compiler errors even, which is cool. So we'll go ahead and do this. I'll bring this back in. And let's say make the hat red just for kicks. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to process. It's just going to send that. And if I go back here, what I want to see is, so this is exactly what I was hoping to see. So I see that the prompt is getting here and the image is getting here. And to me, we're now ready to try and get this stuff over to Google, right?
Amazing. Yes, that makes sense. Totally. I might actually try this strategy. Next time I'm vibe coding, I may actually try this intermediate step. I feel like even though it's not as fun, it might actually save me a lot of time in the long run. This is cool.
Yeah. In fact, I'll have it actually make a commit for me right now. I'll be like, can you make a commit for me with a message around what stage we're at? And then I'll keep going.
Amazing.
Do you commit as you go? Like, how do you like to manage?
Yes.
Yeah.
I use GitHub relentlessly, actually. As a vibe coder, it is absolutely critical to commit your changes when they are good as often as possible so you can revert, because reverting is the vibe coder's best friend. It's very hard to vibe code your way out of a hole at this stage of the AI models. You can do it. It's just much easier to revert your changes and give it another try.
Yeah. I mean, I totally find that's a real failure mode. If you sort of get into like the things not working, the best strategy is to go back to a moment where it was and start moving forward again rather than trying to undo what you were doing.
Totally.
All right, let's move on though. So the next thing that I'm going to do here is update this API to actually call out to Google. And I think that this is a new enough API that I want to actually feed in the documentation to our agent so that it knows how to use it. So I'm going to go over here, click on this. I'm going to say, just copy the URL here. And I'm going to say, could you take a look at the Nano Banana documentation and understand how to use the API and summarize it for me? And then I'll just pass in this link and we'll continue. It thinks it's new, but it's not. So the reason I do this is like for something new like Nano Banana, I don't think that the base LLM here, which I'm using Sonnet, is going to have information on how to use it correctly. It'll have some information, but I think we're better off sort of reading the docs and having the agent put that in context before we build with it. Does that make sense to you, Riley?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. With the newest and latest APIs, it's always important to get docs. And I've found that it's actually just easier to go find the docs and paste them in than to actually ask the AI to like do a web search and find the docs and then have them use it. It's a tough task to ask an AI to do that.
I think it understands it. And what's cool is like, I was doing this earlier with like raw CLI tools. It seems like there's an actual node integration I can use. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, let's use the node integration to go ahead and try to call Nano Banana with the prompt and the image file. We'll need to set up our Google API key as well. What's the preferred way of passing that in? Is it via M file? The transcription is not perfect, but it's pretty good.
I normally say .env file. It picks it up better than saying .env, but
interesting.
Just a little hack. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. So let's see. So it's going to make me a .env local, which is right. So what I'm going to do while this is going here, I'm going to hit Command O and I'm going to open our...
I'm curious on what you were about to do. That looked like a really cool feature. Wait, you can just like Command O opens up like a file.
Yeah. So this is a new feature in Warp, which is I think definitely worth showing for people who are coding in it. We just got enough feedback that it's very useful to be able to see your files. And so we now have a file tree in here and we have the ability to hit Command O and search files and open them. And so what I wanted to do is open our .env .local file. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this key is stored in our Google Vault. So this is actually kind of a cool thing to show how I do this securely with API keys. So I'm going to say, could you fetch the Google language API key from our Google Secrets Manager? It's in the warp-server-staging project.
Cool. And also, if you guys want to find an API key, just look up Google AI Studio if you're following along, and you can pretty easily generate an API key. And I believe it's free up to a certain amount of generations if you guys are following along.
So this is awesome. So it found the API key for me from our secrets manager, and it's going to go ahead. I'm going to close this because it's going to write it directly into the file, and it might not even get to the screen, which is what I want. So now it did that for me, which is really cool. I think we're ready to just try this. Honestly, let's just see what goes on here.
I'm very excited to try it.
I would be really impressed if this worked, but all right, tell me, what do you want to do to this cowboy?
Let's just say, make the hat black.
Okay. I have no idea if it's going to work, but let's see.
It's not getting an immediate error, so that is cool.
Let's see how we're doing here. So,
oh, there it is. Wow. And then, so that's cool. That is really, really cool. That's awesome. I think what we should try and do now. Actually, I mean, this is super cool. Okay, I did not expect it to just work on the first try like that. Hell yeah. What I think we should do is the same way that we're vibe coding right now, right? We're entering prompt after prompt after prompt. I want to create that same experience, but like vibe thumbnail design. Like we can almost name it that. And so I want it to replace almost like a stack, like maybe there's like tabs where you have like the latest version of the image. So like this image should have been replaced by the image with a black hat. And then as soon as you type in again, you can just press enter and it will edit it again and then again and then again. And so you can just kind of like keep iterating on the same image. I think that would be the best experience for thumbnail design.
I got it. So it's like you want it to always take the last one as input, or do you want to take the original as input?
The latest one as the
latest
input,
one.
yes.
So it's like an iterative. Okay, let's do it. So again, I'm going to grab a snapshot of this just so I can like give it some guidance on how to change the API. I'll cancel this. I'll put this in. You can notice the context window. Yeah, we're still okay. At some point, we may want to refresh the conversation here, but it should work fine. So I'm going to say we want to adjust the user experience so that after a user submits the image in prompt, the resulting image that comes back from Google becomes the current image that you prompt again. This will allow us to iteratively reprompt to change the image. It also would be cool to display the prior images in some sort of history UI, perhaps a strip of past images that shows on the bottom of the screen. Could you implement that for me?
I love it. I love that prompt.
So let's see if it gets what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it should. It should get it. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't. It may struggle with getting the latest version. I feel like I've made a tool similar to this before. But Nano Banana is just the best in the world at editing specific things. Like it's such an insane technology.
Funny story. So before I started Warp, I worked at a company, right? I was a co-founder of a company actually, where our product was basically a marketplace for photo editing. And so it was an app where people could submit their photos and ask for changes like this, and a human would do the work of like going into Photoshop and like removing stuff from the background or changing someone's hat color or something like that. And it's just so not needed to have a human do that at this point. And
it's insane.
It's wild. Yeah.
No, it's actually insane because like with Photoshop, you literally would have to have, first of all, you'd have to have experience going to Photoshop. You have to go to the interface. You have to use the masking tool and like separate the different layers. And then you can start manually manipulating the layers. And people thought that Photoshop would just win this battle because it's like, oh, the people who know how to use Photoshop are going to be at an advantage. But it turns out that like all of that masking and middle layer, it just didn't even matter. It's just who can describe the changes they want the most, can just edit images on the spot, which is just an insane thing.
It is wild. Let's see how we're doing here. So far so good. It recompiled. Let's go ahead and run this again. Did you send me an image?
I have not yet. I'm doing it right now. I'm trying to...
Let me test it with my cowboy while I'm waiting here, but then we can do...
Cool.
We can do your image. Make... black. We'll see how this is. Curious mostly if it understood my prompt. Amazing. So there does seem to be a bug here in terms of this. Well, I would expect this to be a thumbnail, but now I'm curious if I do make the horse white, if it maintains the black hat, which is what we want, right?
Yes, that would be the test.
Oh my God.
Did it just work?
It just works. This history thing
Wait,
needs some work, but yeah.
No. All right, try it again. Say, give the horse a horn like it's a unicorn or something like that.
That doesn't look amazing, but it's pretty cool.
No, it got it. It got it. I mean, that's good enough.
Remove the text. Yeah, send me something and we'll do it on yours. Now I'm really curious if it can remove the text. Wow.
Did it get it? Oh, it removed the text. Now,
Yeah.
say add big red text that says Nano Banana is insane.
This is so cool.
Yes, it is. Insane. Wait, say move move the text like into the upper left so I can see the character or something like that. It should get it.
Upper left so it doesn't cover the cowboy.
Okay.
We are living in science fiction here.
Yeah,
right?
It's amazing. It's insane. It's insane. Like, we not only is this image model insane, but we literally vibe coded an interface to do it into existence, which is even more insane.
Now let me see. I'm curious. So this is cool too. So it did, even though it's not showing the thumbnail correctly, it did do the history of this in a very cool way, right?
Yes, I like it. I like it.
Some bugginess perhaps, but
yeah, I mean, we could get it to like maybe show up in the YouTube thumbnail orientation, so they're rectangles, and then show the actual image displayed there. I think that would be a good edit to make.
So we fix this.
Let's fix that. And then let's do it then we'll do the next example with my thumbnail. I got it into a storage bucket so I can send it to you.
There's a couple problems I notice here, which is interesting. So first of all, make a commit at the current spot with the message that it's basically working except for some bugginess with the history strip. All right, so we got a good commit here. Now I want it to fix this history bug. So I'm going to grab the screenshot, put it in and say, there's a couple bugs with the history strip at the bottom of the app. The first bug is that it's not actually rendering thumbnails. It's just rendering them as black squares. So please fix that. The second bug is that when you revert to a thumbnail, it's getting pushed onto the history stack. Whereas I think it should just be like popping off the rest of the stack. So please fix that.
I see what you mean. That's good.
I noticed it kept adding things to it. I don't think that's what we want.
No, I agree with that.
So let it fix this. And then
we also use the Whisperflow SDK, and we also got that error. Not error, it's just it shows up as the line breaks or whatever. It's very interesting.
This? Yeah. I don't mind this. I feel like it's actually, if you're prompting, it's actually great. I would say if you're not prompting, it's probably not what you want.
Yeah, we use it for, it just looks weird in the prompting, especially like with our tool, it's more user friendly. So people are like, oh, what the heck is that? But for developers, yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. And it's fine for the LLM too. Like the LLM is perfectly capable of reading this. Yes, as a prompt, which is interesting. So let's see. So it's fixing the thumbnail rendering. Okay. I don't know if that's going to fix it or not, but it's trying.
We will see.
And then I'm curious about this. So the way that it's organized it, which is interesting to me as a developer. Yeah, this is, I would imagine, the standard Next.js. Yeah. This is the beauty of vibe coding, is that I just really don't have to read this whole thing. Pretty cool. All right, so let's see now if it understood and fixed it. It's restarting it for me, which is what I want. Let's go over here, open it back up. And should we try with yours?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited.
Okay, so open this. All right, there you are. What should we do?
Say, give the man gold sunglasses.
Okay, here we go.
Processing with Nano Banana. I love it.
Could make it more fun. Put a little banana emoji or something animated.
Oh, yeah.
We could change this. There you are. Looking cool.
Dude, that's crazy. So the image history it seems it's still doing something funky, which is okay. I feel like it might. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what the issue is.
If we want to go fancier here, let me try something.
Let's do it.
Well, it's up to you. I could try to have the agent debug it by taking a look at the web page.
I like it. Let's do that.
No guarantee of success, but we could try it.
Let's do it.
So the way that I would do this is I'm going to open up our MCP servers here. And what I want to do is add Puppeteer.
Mm.
Do you know Puppeteer?
I've heard of it.
So we'll see if we can make this work or not. So I will grab this. I'll grab this. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add an MCP configuration into Warp. This didn't work to start. Hold on, let me edit it. Oh, I didn't give it a name. Hold on, let me try this one more time. P-service Puppeteer MPX. I would think that this should work. So there we go. I'm going to see if it's starting. It's starting. Okay, so now Puppeteer is an MCP server that can read, like it can basically run Chrome for you and like read a web page. So let me see if this works. This will be experimental. But I'm going to say the bug with the history is still present. Could you use the Puppeteer MCP server to look at the website at localhost 3000 where the server is running and try to debug why the image isn't being rendered correctly? And the challenge with this, now that I'm thinking about it more, is like you only get into this state once you've, let's see what happens. But you only get into the state once you've actually submitted an image. So this might not work, but I think it's worth trying just to see. Okay.
But if, I see. So basically what it's doing here is it's using a tool that will simulate you using the tool. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Isn't this cool?
Sense. It's awesome. It's very cool. That's kind of how I've always thought that. I'm like, wait, as a vibe coder, I'm basically doing this. You know, I'm pasting in a prompt and then I'm going to test it myself. It's just like, why wouldn't an AI just test it?
Now let's see if it's able to actually do it. Let me readjust this here. So it's got to navigate to the page. So now you see it's learning what to do it, right? So it's going to this localhost 3000. I'll try and do this side by side.
Oh, I see. So it's entered in localhost 3000.
But the problem here is like I need to actually run the server. So hold on, let me cancel this. And then I will go ahead and run the server in the background and say, I've now run the server in the background, so try the Puppeteer MCP debugging one more time.
Amazing.
Again, this is we'll see. But let's
I'm
just
very
see.
curious. I'm very curious.
It's so cool. There we go. There's the web page. You see it?
Yep. Okay. It's
okay.
Trying
now I'm going to say
upload.
You need to have Puppeteer really upload an image and give a prompt in order to actually debug the issue. So have Puppeteer do that.
So this is like a browser agent.
Correct.
Okay.
It did it. You see this? Now let's see if it can fill in the instruction field.
I mean, I feel like if it uploaded an image, it should be able to type.
Yeah. Let's see if it can do it.
No.
Let's try a different approach.
This is wild.
There we go.
Yep,
make the background red. You see that?
That's
I'm not typing.
Crazy.
That
is crazy. And now it's processing. Now it should literally make the background red.
Yep.
Okay, great.
And now, can it see the, so it's going to take a screenshot. This is, dude, this is the future. It's so cool.
This is actually insane. I can't believe this worked. I was like, no way this works. So it's literally simulating a human user. And then now it's just analyzing, it's analyzing all of the logs. Like when you pressed inspect or whatever, like all of the data that's coming in there, it has access to that.
It's like if I were to open up Chrome DevTools and try to figure out why this thing wasn't rendering properly. And so it sees it.
Oh, interesting.
But now
so there is a history thumbnail, and it was the correct dimensions and properties it was displaying. Huh. And now it's
kind of annoying that we're
it even
seeing
further.
This background input. But let's see. This is very revealing. Okay. Let me check if there's any CSS issues or Z-index problems. Found the issue. Let's see if it actually found it. If it found the issue, I'm going to be blown away. By the way, the reason you're seeing all this logging stuff here is I ran the server in the background and we're still seeing some of its output. So It says it found the bug. If it really found the bug, let's see if it can actually make the code change and verify the fix, because that would be pretty cool too.
That would be very cool. And this Puppeteer thing, is this something that's free or is this something that you have to pay for?
No, I'm pretty sure this is just a free MCP server that lets the agent control the browser, right?
Amazing.
So, and you saw how simple it was to install. You just kind of
Okay, so it lets the agent. So you're still paying for the tokens for the agent to control the browser. It's just a server of tool. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yes. So let's try it. Actually, let me delete this for a second and let's just try this on our own and see if it fixed it. Actually, I think it should be the latest, but let's refresh this just to make sure. And actually, I'll do this in my normal browser over here. Refresh, do this. Let's try this. I'm a little skeptical that it actually made the code change. Like, did it make the code change someplace? I don't think it made the code change. Can you make the actual code change for me, please?
So yeah, so it has loaded up in its context whatever the problem might theoretically be. And now you're just saying, take that information and make the change.
Yeah. And I'm sort of surprised it didn't just fix it. Oh, I guess it did. It already made it. Okay, so then let's see. What do you want? Do you want those sunglasses again?
Give him a gold chain.
Okay.
No way. It did it. It did it.
How awesome was that?
That's crazy.
That was one of the coolest demos I've ever done. Like, that was really cool.
So in this video, just to reiterate, we created a Next.js project. We basically created what you call as the scaffolding. I would call that as like a base template, kind of give you the foundation. Then we added image upload, which went seamlessly. Then we added the edit instructions little input field plus the button. And then you basically ran a test to see if you could communicate with the Gemini API. And then we connected them and it worked on the first try. Then we wanted to change the image history and it didn't immediately work. So then you used the Puppeteer MCP server that is a free thing that you can set up within Warp as a server, and which allows you to agentically control the browser to test for bugs and things of that nature. Basically did a bunch of research and tested it on your behalf. And then the AI made the right changes. And now we have this full app. Okay.
It's pretty wild, right?
That's sick. Do you think we could open source this and make it as part of a resource as part of the video? I think that would be really fun.
100%. Totally.
Amazing. That's awesome. This was a really, really fun demo. I really appreciate you coming on to do this.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.